Jehovah spoke in the light of the throne of God Neph in Hord, saying, Behold, a star comes. The voice of Jehovah ceased, but God Neph and his hosts knew the meaning, for it, that season of time, was the time for Af to return and complete his deliverance of Neph and his hosts, and his lords and their hosts. So the council members were moved to look into the firmament, and the messengers who had heard the voice of Jehovah, and who were departing on their various missions, also looked upward, even as they sped forth to their places, and they proclaimed it, the coming deliverance, in all the heavens of the earth, and to the lords and their divisions of the earth. And the angels of heaven and those who resided with mortals, were stirred up, and because of their contiguity, which is to say, their proximity or closeness to mortals, the latter comprehended that something unusual was about to happen. The council of Hord did not know how they should proceed, for the event, the coming deliverance, was to surpass in magnificence anything they had ever witnessed. God Neph said, I have heard your voice, O Jehovah. I know a star comes, and its glory shall be great. Give me light, O Father. How shall your servant know the decorum, the proper order and system, rites and ceremonies, and standards of behavior, of Orion chiefs? Behold, I am as one abashed, humbled with obscurity, with relative darkness, in your wide universe. Jehovah's voice answered, saying, Do not fear, my son, Neph. And let your counsel be strong also. Proceed at once to decorate your people, in preparation for receiving the resurrection. And as to those who are to be my brides and bridegrooms, clothe them in white. The whole council heard Jehovah's voice, and they ordained officers to proceed throughout Atmospheria and put in effect Jehovah's commandment. And the decorated angels, and those prepared as brides and bridegrooms for Etheria, were ordered to form in companies near the throne of God Neph in Hord, and the officers of companies were also provided with badges, on each of which was inscribed an account of their labor on earth and in heaven, the number and nature of their charities and self-sacrifices for others' good, and their grade in purity, power and wisdom. And the privates, the lowest enlisted angels, were decorated with stars to illustrate the same things, in degree and number, and the stations of their file, of their line, in Hord, were provided in the order of music, rating them according to their chord and discord, harmony and disharmony, and their social adaptability. For these things, these sequencings, were done before Etherian judges, to whom Jehovah had said, Let the people pass before you so you may judge them, that being assorted and arranged, they shall make one harmonious whole, for it is only by this means, the harmonious whole, that they will have power to ascend and endure in my regions of light. And upon observation of the environment, there were 1,000,000 of these judges, and they took up their stations in different parts of Atmospheria, wherever the second resurrection had been established, every judge choosing a district for himself or herself, for they were both men and women. And as the angels passed before them, the judges, the wisdom of the judges, was so great, that they could comprehend all each person had ever done, either on earth or in heaven. And by signals, the proper officers were advised how to decorate, and adorn all of them. And as fast as companies of 1,000 passed, they were provided with conductors, who took them to their places, which had been previously determined by the command of God Neph. While this work of angelic placement was proceeding, lights began to appear in the firmament above. These were the marshals of the Orion fields in Etheria, in their starships, taking course for Hord, and their number was legion, which is to say, an enormously large number, far too large to estimate easily. But presently one starship, brighter and more powerful than the rest, made its way from the western arc of Anahi, and it steered directly to God Neph's throne, growing brighter and larger as it came. And when it entered past Shinvat, and was well within the vortex of the earth, in the belt of the moon's orbit. Its light spread across the whole atmosphere of heaven, and Hord was illuminated, and the angels of Hord were stirred up with enthusiasm. The brilliant star did not prolong the suspense of the angel world, for he who sailed it was a god of millions of years, and by his wisdom, attained to such mastery that the elements of earth and atmosphere gave way, as if appalled by a heaven on fire. Down to the arena of the Council of Hord came this starship, whose majesty outweighed all ceremony, a very crown of magnificence. And he who came, attended by 500,000, was Sueji, marshal for that which was soon to follow. God Neph rose up, saluting, and all the hosts rose up, at which Sueji ascended the throne, greeted by God and his council. Sueji said, "By your will, O Jehovah." And God Neph said, "In your name, O Father, Creator. Welcome to your son, Sueji." And presently all the place was aglow with a golden light, which, of all colors, ranks first in heaven, and the voice of Jehovah descended on Sueji, and he, Jehovah, said, "Well beloved, come. Long enduring, come. Of patience and steadfastness, my sons and daughters. Behold, I, Jehovah, came in the darkness and delivered your mother earth me, for she was heavily laden with twins. And one twin dwelt with the mother, but the other I sent to nurse in Hochuan. And they, the twins, are now grown to maturity, a son and daughter twin. Turn to Hochuan. Lo, the daughter twin comes. She was the puny child, but look upon her, O you gods and goddesses. Her billions come as an avalanche of giant worlds. Open your arms, O my beloved sons and daughters." The voice of Jehovah ceased, and Sueji said, "When the harvest of Hochuan arrives, attended by the gods and goddesses who help deliver the children of darkness, and who have changed them into beacons of light, behold, there shall be 3 days of recreation in atmosphere, for the hosts of Hochuan shall be shown their native world, and where they came from, and they shall read the lineage of kin and condition from which they were rescued by Jehovah's sons and daughters. But on the first day, behold, Af, the Orion chief, will descend in all his glory. And on the 4th day all your upraised sons and daughters shall ascend into the Etherian worlds, where they are waiting to receive you, trillions of souls, long since dwellers in Nirvana." Sueji ceased speaking, having given commands as to the stations of his marshals for the earth and her heaven. God Neph sent his messengers, saying, "Go to Oahspe, a notable angelic nurse, and say, God Neph says, my heavens have been numbered, and the account of my laborers rendered and recorded in the libraries of Hord. And of all the hosts who have labored with your God, behold, you, O Oahspe, stand on the highest grade. Come, therefore, to the throne of your God and be anointed God of heaven and earth for the next 400 years, and as long after that as Jehovah wills." The messengers, attended by 1,000 marshals, departed for Ajin, the place of labor where Oahspe dwelt, being a physician's nurse for Asians and stillborn mortal children, and those killed by abortion. And they delivered the message of God Neph, to which Oahspe replied, "Thanks, O Jehovah. Tell God Neph I will come. But first let me surmise. I have been all my life, now some 30,000 earth years, trying to learn where I would be most serviceable to Jehovah and his sons and daughters. And when I judge that I have found it, lo, a summons comes from another direction, saying, 'Come here.' And so it seems Jehovah forever hurries us onward, faster than our wisdom can discover the requirement. And so for Oahspe the marshals provided an Audivan, and Oahspe was conducted to Hord, even to the foot of the throne of God, where he was saluted and received under a rod with water, according to his rank, with the special note that here, specifically, rank is more so a reference to grade as opposed to traditional rank. For an angel may labor in a position of lower rank, as Oahspe labored in the lower rank of physician's nurse, as opposed to the higher rank of physician, and yet in the end, Oahspe's grades still outranked his immediate superior, due to Oahspe's service unto others.